And so, John, let's go on now to further conclusions from your 1978 study of the Shroud in Turin.
Yes. I'd like to just say that the team that I was able to be a part of, I found to be very competent in their respective fields. These were professional scientists, all of them, and I have great respect for every one of them that I had the privilege of working with.
That was wonderful to have such an extraordinary team of scientists working together, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes,
well,
it
even
was.
the people who would be classified as technicians were of a PhD level, had tremendous senses of science.
Extraordinary.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we talked about some general characteristics, macroscopic and some micro characteristics, and we have some inferences here about the blood images, the body image, and so forth. But really the way to get at it and to do the confirmatory studies is to do direct sample analysis. We could not, of course, do this on-site in Turin, so we had to collect tape samples from the Shroud. Now, we see here the way this was done. First of all, the sample taking with Bob Diniger and Ray Rogers was to apply sticky tapes that were made for us, special non-contaminating tapes by 3M Company, were placed upon the Shroud at various locations.
Pressure-sensitive roller.
Now, we were very concerned that we would not hurt the image, hurt the Shroud. So we thought the best way to do this would be to start with a pressure-sensitive roller that we would apply pressure to the tape, and we would start with a very low pressure and then pull the tape up, and then whatever is adhering to the tape, then we could take back and analyze. So we just didn't want to run the risk of doing something to the Shroud, so that's the reason we were using this. But it was good we did, because we learned something here. I'll just tell you in a minute what that was. So the tapes were applied to the background cloth, to the scorch, as you see here.
Now, just fill us in again on the background cloth.
Well, the background, what I mean by background cloth, I mean control. I mean where there's no body image, there's no scorch, there's no water stain,
fine.
There's no blood.
Fine.
And so we are applying, with that tape sample roller, we're applying the tape sample to the cloth. In this case, you can see it being placed over a burn area. But we did this on the background or control area, over the body image, over blood samples, over water stains. And then we can take these back with whatever material was adhering to these and then later analyze them in the United States. But in the process of taking those samples, those men who did this had a very interesting observation. Something was unexpected, really. When you put the tape sample over the background cloth with a controlled amount of pressure, you would then pull the tape up, and the tape would come up rather harshly. Take a little bit of strength to pull them up off the cloth. And of course, then you get your fibrils with it and particles or whatever. But when you did this with the same pressure over the burn areas and over the body image, either one of those, same pressure, the tape would come up much easier.
Amazing.
And the question is, why is that?
Yes, that's what I want to ask you.
Okay. The way, if you think about it, to pull up a tape, you have to break fibrils. The fibrils on the surface that are adhering to the tape have to break from their context in the cloth.
Yes.
And there's no reason why you have any greater density of fibers in one area than the other, because it's all kind of a uniform cloth.
Yes.
The only thing that's happened is that some of those fibrils in the body image or the scorch have been discolored. Now, if the chemistry of the body image is like a scorch, another thing that happens to cloth when it gets scorched, besides discoloring, is it gets mechanically weakened. So when you start pulling up the tape you see, these fibrils are apparently breaking easier than fibrils that are in the background cloth. And this is very interesting. It's a physical observation that can help us or direct us to the idea that maybe this notion of the Shroud image being like the scorch images isn't really that far out.
So this is another bit of corroborating evidence in that